Hey fellas, how you doing? It's Johnny. It's lovely in here. I wanted to share something with you that I used to struggle with a lot, and I still get the voice sometimes as well, but obviously my life has changed now, so I guess it's easier to manage the voice. I don't, I just ignore it, and it's something that, let's be honest, we all struggle with, especially men. It's a word that I really don't like as well. It upsets me, it makes me passionate. And I've had a lot of people write to me, and I get a lot of clients that I first work with, and I hear it in people's conversations a lot. And that's, I don't feel good enough. I really hate that word. I hate when people say that. I probably hate that because that's how I used to feel. And I've done some very, very deep inquiry into this word, what that word means. So just say it back with me when you say, I don't feel good enough about myself. Now, I remember sitting at home one day, and I had many days where I didn't feel good enough. And it was around the time of 25. I had a lot of depression. I was a manic depressive. I was a little bit suicidal in my thinking. God forbid I didn't harm myself. Massive social anxiety, social phobia. I felt really, really low. And that's what I say to myself, I don't feel good enough. But I remember sitting there one day and going, well, what would qualify me to feel good enough? And then I realised I wasn't really saying that. I was asking myself, am I equal to everyone else? So it wasn't just, I don't feel good enough. It was, I actually thought my existence has got no purpose. But then I thought deep and I thought to myself, I thought for a second, let me remove all of the societal expectations of, I don't feel good enough because I don't have this amount of money. Or I don't feel good enough because I don't have a really attractive girlfriend, or I don't feel good enough because other people are not perceiving me and are not giving me this type of attention, respect, whatever you want to call it, or I'm not living in a big house. I thought, let me just take away these things. And let me ask that question from a spiritual standpoint, from a godly standpoint, just from existence, from that point of view. And I thought, how can I not be good enough? But the people outside my window walking by are better than me, because we're all human beings. I know that's so simplistic, and I'm not trying to patronise you or to try and to, be silly, but I actually asked myself that question. I got the answer. Of course I'm good enough. I'm a human being. I've got feelings, I've got heart, I've got lungs, I've got health, I've got 24 hours in a day, I've got breath, I've got a mind, I've got a body, I've got an ego. So how can I not be good enough? But they're better than me. Now obviously, there is that illusion in the world. It's a powerful illusion. It's so powerful that it obviously makes people depressed. God forbid it makes people take their own life. It keeps people in jobs that they don't enjoy. It stops people from expressing themselves, whether it's down the gym, if it's boxing, martial arts, whether it's speaking to people, whether it's being their true self, this type of opinion they have about themselves. And then I realised, I went deeper and I thought, I'm starting to understand what this voice means. This voice ain't me, because I'm not the voice in my head. I might not even be the voice I'm using now, although this is my authentic voice. I'm speaking from the heart, my true self. But maybe that's not me. So I don't feel good enough. That's an illusion. That's just that's a mindset. That's being imprisoned in your thinking. So the next guy walking down the street, when I was broke on job seekers allowance, baggy tracksuit bottoms, ravioli in a tin, Rocky 1, 2 and 3 every day of the week. I'm looking out my window seeing a guy. He's handsome, he's attractive, white teeth, whiter than my teeth, confident, and I know he's successful. I'm thinking, I'm jealous at the time. I'm thinking, that's what's good enough, this is not good enough. But as I've got more experience in my life and I've changed the way I think and I've achieved more, I've bought away from the illusion. I start realising he had that voice as well. He had that voice as well, but he did something with it. He didn't listen to that voice, so he allowed it to motivate him. So I'm reading this book at the moment called The Untethered Soul. And in the book, the guy goes on to say, it's a fantastic book, highly recommend it. He says, that voice in our head, he calls it the roommate, that's not who we are. That's absolutely not who we are. But most people get bullied by that voice. The same voice that says, I'm not good enough. I don't have the education. I'm not from the right background. Or my background's too good. I'm too overqualified. Or I'm this, I'm that, I'm this age. If you believe that's you, that's when we get depressed. When I believe that voice is me, erectile dysfunction, job seekers allowance, depression, jealousy, shame, guilt, embarrassment, panic attacks, really unhappy. I never knew there was a way to climb inside and to quiet that voice down. But some of us don't do it. Why don't we do it? Let's be brutally honest. Because we're afraid. We're all afraid anyway. I've kind of worked out, doesn't matter where you are, you're going to be afraid. But I'd rather be afraid doing what I love than being afraid in something that I despise or don't like. So when I say God, I'm speaking in terms of my intuition, my consciousness, not that voice, like it says in the book, The Untethered Soul, not the voice in my head, the voice that says, Johnny, you're not attractive enough, or Johnny, you're not good enough, or Johnny, you're not educated enough, or Johnny, you can't achieve what these guys have achieved on the internet. You know, that's just too greedy. That's too greedy. Just be grateful. Ravioli in a tin and a couple of quid a week. When I was silent like this, I'll give you an example. This is how I got in tune with the voice. Because depression used to do this to me. You'll relate to this if you've got social anxiety. I'm sitting in my room and I'm there and I'm just quiet and I'm thinking, the voice is going off, you're not good enough, you don't have this. I've got a feeling. I've got a feeling in my stomach. It's in the bottom of my stomach. It's painful, it hurts. It's like, it's a feeling of, ever been in love with a girl and then fallen out of love, been hurt? Now that painful feeling in your stomach, where you feel like the world's ended, you feel empty, like someone snatched your heart out. That's the feeling. That's the God I'm talking about. Whoever he is. I start feeling that. I get inspired. I'm going to tell you the truth, and I'm a manly man, I'm crying. But I'm not crying for my mummy, although sometimes I did cry for my mummy. I'm getting passionate. I'm not having it. I'm not having it. I'm not good enough. I am enough. I am enough. I am enough. But I've got to change that voice in my head because it's tricking me. We call it the false ego, or a demonic voice, or a divided voice, or a negative voice. Let's call it that. It's easier language. I need to go and challenge this voice. I need to challenge this voice that says, and it's interesting because guess what, guys? This gets really interesting. The voice in my head, I'm hearing it from other people in my life. I love my family. But in the subtext of what they're saying, they don't mean it purposely. Maybe I'm projecting. They're saying, do the 9 to 5, Johnny. You're suited for that. I'm going, it's breaking my heart, man. I'm not meant to do 9 to 5. I've got nothing against someone who does a 9 to 5. I've done 9 to 5. I respect people. I've been on the floor, man. I've been on job seekers allowance. I've had no money where I've got to go on my knees and beg and borrow off people. I've had my pride dented. I've had my self-respect snatched out of my heart. But I'm saying to myself, I can't have this no more. It's doing me in. I'm going down the job centre queuing up, right? It's how I'm queuing up. And I'm a confident man like you guys are underneath. But the voice is beating me and I'm like that. Got my head down, I can't make eye contact. The voice has convinced me that I've got social anxiety. I'm afraid of people. I'm not afraid of people. I'm afraid of the voice. I believe it's real. I believe it's me. You're no good. You're all this and that. So I'm in a job centre telling me I can't get a job more than £6 an hour. £6 an hour for human life. I'd like to say you can't put a price on human life. Sometimes I'd rather work for free. I'd rather do charity for a job that I actually love. I'd feel more appreciated. than someone saying to me, you're only worth £6 an hour. Maybe you're feeling like this at the moment. Can't put a price on human life. As my mate Floyd would say, this £10 note, it's gone now. We can replace this. We can't replace human life. Not unless they've got a new discovery in science, genetic coding, or they probably have somewhere, one of the Arnold Schwarzenegger films. So I thought to myself, I heard a voice from Les Brown. And Les Brown said, we've got to challenge that voice. I'm getting passionate, sorry. He says, we've got to challenge that limiting belief. I cried when I heard his voice. It spoke to me, spoke to my heart. I went out, started to work on my social confidence, started to get more confident. I thought, I'm not incapable. If I can get better with women, which is an area that the voice said I could never achieve, said I was an ugly duckling, can you believe that? How handsome I am, come on, open your eyes. I thought, if I can change the voice or quieten it down and attract a woman that I didn't think I could attract, surely I can do the job I want to do. Surely I can do that. Of course I did. I quit an office job that I didn't like. It wasn't fulfilling me. So I started to think, I don't mind if that voice plays off. You can call me all sorts of names. I'm moving forward anyway. I'm going to get around other people that are moving forward. So I'm reading through this book and he's saying, we don't need to do away with the voice. The voice is like a negative friend trying to hold you back. Ever had it from a friend? I'm sure you've been that friend. I've been that negative friend too, so be careful. I'm going to go and join the gym tomorrow, get in shape. And your friend says, oh, why are you going to do that for, man? Gym's a waste of time. Just eat junk food. And you're like, what? Trying to do something positive. My friend should be supporting me. That's the inner roommate. So when the voice is saying, when I'm saying, I've got a great business idea. I want to change the world. I want to do something that's going to touch people's hearts and inspire the world. And the voice is saying, you can't do that. You're not educated. You're not like the other guy who's better looking than you. People wouldn't take you serious. You're saying, whatever, mate, I'm going to go and do it anyway. Powerful stuff. Then we start developing our inner God or our consciousness. We start growing it. And it says in the book, we start living with an open heart. Don't think open heart means going soft and crying to Coronation Street. Sometimes we've got to go soft to go hard. I got so excited when I heard that. So I'm guessing at the moment you're watching a YouTube channel because you've got a voice. We've all got a voice. But are you letting that voice stop you or inspire you? I hope you don't think I'm being arrogant now, I'm getting passionate. When I'm speaking to you now, I'm your good voice. So the bad voice going through your head, that's not me. So I am reflecting the good in you. That's what my teachers do for me. That's what I do for you guys. So I'm not a perfect guru. I don't want to be a guru. That's boring. There's too much pressure there. That leaves me no room to grow. So I'm talking to the real you. I'm not talking to the voice in your head saying, you can't do it, you're not good enough. It takes time. We have to hone this skill. It doesn't happen overnight. But the quicker you get started, the quicker it happens. You will get guidance along the way, my friend. You are not on your own sitting in your house, anxious and depressed. Or doing a job and thinking, I can't spend the next 20 years in this job. I cannot spend the next 20 years. Or I can't take this relationship. It's not serving me. I need to get out of this and find someone else. You are not on your own, my friend. I've been there and I've come out of there. Don't listen to the voice. That's about as enough as I want to share with you. Enjoy the process and I love you all and get inspired and just go and do something more. Just go and achieve.